Releasing in Australian cinemas on January the 15th is a new film called Grow. And it's my great pleasure to be speaking to the director of Grow, John McPhail. John, welcome to Movie Metropolis.
Thanks very much for having me, Peter.
Great to talk to you. This is such a lovely family film. At what point did you get involved in directing the film?
So they were starting to look for where they wanted to shoot the film. Because the film was an American production company that was that developed the script, and they were talking to Sky in the UK about another project, and it came up, and Sky were like, "Oh, we really like this," and they redeveloped it for the UK. And so they were looking for places where they wanted to shoot it, and Scotland came up. Double Nickel come over to Scotland. They fell in love with the place, and so they were looking for a Scottish director, and my name popped up, and I was lucky enough to pitch for the project, and yeah, so I'd kind of come on at that point, and then we started casting, and looking for the locations, building a crew, and taking it out from there.
Okay. I noticed that there are three screenwriters attached to the film. How did you work with them in terms of the way you directed the film?
So the original writer, as I say, that was when it was developed for the US, and
Ah,
then Nick and excuse me, I forgot his writing partner. Um, they took him on board to develop it more for the UK. So that's how it was like there's a bunch of different writers. So one was the initial writer who came up with the initial concept, and then the boys took it and developed it for the UK, brought that UK sense of humor to it and sensibility.
okay. Interesting to hear that. I very fondly remember your film Anna and the Apocalypse, which was
Thank you, Peter.
a delightful film. So, congratulations now on directing Grow, which is quite a contrast to that film.
I mean, like I love anything with a bit of heart and a bit of character. That's kind of like that's my special place. Like I love genres as well, and as a young filmmaker, I want to explore genres, and I want to play in spaces. And for me, it's always about audience. Like I love audiences. That's like the whole point of my job is to entertain them. And um, like I grew up watching films with my parents, like VHS. Like we'd sit around like watch a video on a Friday night, and like when I was reading this, and it just gave me an ache into those kind of films. Like, I grew up watching my mother, she used to read us Roald Dahl stories, like goodnight stories. So we got like the BFG, the Twits, like James and the Giant Peach, Matilda, like so like all of these sort of like fun tales. So and it kind of just gave me an ache into all of those things, and I thought, oh, and I wanted to shoot something with a bit of joy, like and as I said, I wanted this to be a shared experience. I really, really wanted like people to be sitting down with like the kids and the parents and enjoy it together, laughing at the same jokes. Obviously, there's some jokes aimed at kids and some aimed at adults, but that, as I say, shared experience of just laughing and having that bit of enjoyment. And I've been really lucky to be like at screenings and been like sitting in with like parents and kids and watching kids like cuddle into their dad at the scary bit, and then like at the emotional bits cuddling into their mum and laughing away, and like that's what I wanted to make. I just wanted that, the thing that I grew up with my parents. And I feel like I've done that. I feel like I've kind of done that. And that was, as I say, that was the goal.
Okay. And you've got an excellent cast. I recognize people like Nick Frost and Jane Horrocks and Joe Wilkinson and so on. Tell me about working with them and getting the performances that you want out of them.
So like I know some like you hear stories of like divas and all sorts, but I genuinely had the greatest cast you'll ever experience. Like my set was so much fun. Like Golda and Nick never wanted to go to their trailers. They just wanted to be on set the whole time. They just loved the crew. We had this really like fun family dynamic. Every day we all loved going to work. We all laughed every day. Like we had our tough days and like stressful moments, but we had such as I say, like a really joyous feel. I'm a very collaborative filmmaker. I love working with my team. I get to work with the best of the best at what they do. And we all get to like under pressure, have to come up with creative solutions. And the same with the cast, it's like coming onto set and just want to have fun. Let's like, let's throw ourselves into this. Let's try some stuff. And they come in with just so many ideas as well. And you get to have that play, that opportunity. Obviously, we're under time constraints and everything else, but like in that, as long as you can still have that fun and like keep it rolling, like every day everybody's buzzing to get into it. And the cast played a big part in that, particularly Golda. Golda was like my sort of like my number one on the call sheet, and she was just electric. Like as a person, like such a charismatic and wonderful woman. She's so cool, like so cool. And like when your number one doesn't want to go to your trailer and your number one wants to have fun and carry on and be playful with the art department and like the camera team, you're already a winner. You're absolutely a winner. And Nick Frost, I grew up like I love Nick Frost. Like everybody loves Nick Frost. I've been wanting to work with him for years, and he's every bit as what you would imagine it may be. He's just Nick Frost. Like it's class, absolutely class. The kid loved him, and again, I'm sort of waxing lyrically about the adults. Like she was incredible. I like she's in practically every frame of the film. Um, she came to set with the same energy. Like every single day, she was just so much fun. Like again, when you're working off, Nick Frost and Golda Roshafel, I mean, two titans. Like, and you're handling your own, and like she came into it with sort of not as much sort of improv experience, but by the end of it, she was just enjoying herself with Nick. She was throwing stuff out, and like as I would say to all of them, just go with your gut in the moment. If it feels right, just do it. And she would just knock it out of the park all the time. It was class.
Yes, no, they all do so well. It's a really enjoyable film in terms of that collaboration that you had with your actors. Tell me about casting the pumpkins.
Oh, like genuinely, like so my art department, like honestly, that they worked so hard on this film, like to design everything, and I mean pumpkins. We had like Peter, like went through so many different like stages, and we had so many versions of Peter. Like we couldn't fit. One of my favorite stories is JX8. Like the hulked up one. Like we modeled it off of a bodybuilder's back. The muscles on people on the body on bodybuilders' backs. We wanted to feel jacked, like it's been pumped full of like nutrients. But the final version was so big, we couldn't fit it in the set to shoot it. Like we had to shoot the version down below through specific angles, and build other bits of it to shoot it because we just couldn't fit it into the set. And we were filming in a nuclear bunker. Like so, it couldn't fit through the blast doors of a nuclear bunker. It was ridiculous, ridiculous. Yeah.
Wow, that is incredible in itself. And tell me about location shooting, especially finding farms, etc., that were appropriate.
So the first place we were looking was we wanted to find farm and base ourselves, because that was where a lot of the production was going to be based out of. And we also wanted to have a bit of controllability over it because I'm a big I love color in film, like I love it, like, and I love that progression through it, and like I'd got my palette, and like what I wanted to do was sort of, as I say, sort of bring the farm to life. Like as they grow together, the farm starts to come together, bit by bit. The kitchen in particular, like that, like I love that set. That kitchen set starts off as like a work shed with like an engine in the middle of the table, and by the end of it, it becomes two sisters warring over like a family table. Like it's a family, it's a family home. It's like the kitchen's like the lifeblood of the house. So, or the heart of the house. So like they worked painstakingly on getting that set just perfect. And again, that was all shot within the farm itself. And then I really wanted this to feel like a British film. We shot it all in Scotland, but I wanted it to feel like a British film, and like I was trying to find like a town that would feel quaintly British, but you couldn't go, oh, I know where that is. I know exactly where it is. And we found Kouros. Kouros is it's a five town, just on the River Tay, sorry, the River Forth. and it's got this beautiful abbey that's dyed in tan and this it's like orange. So I'm like, whoa, Orange Abbey, and it has this sort of like Scandinavian architecture, like to some of the like the properties. So it just kind of lends that element of fantasy, like it just leans into that part of the world. It's something that we're trying to sell. It's not only like a family film, but there is, as I say, this element of magic. So, anything I can do to sort of wink a lot towards that, I was all for.
Well, well done on that because it looks
Thank
great
you.
on screen. I Now the film's releasing in Australia January 15th. I gather the film has already been shown elsewhere.
Yeah, we done a wee festival tour and then it released in the UK in October on Sky. It had a little theatrical run here and had a little theatrical run in the US, and it's now streaming on a plot like Angel over in the US.
Okay, very good. Now, just speaking about Grow, the editing process must have been interesting, trying to get the sequencing right and to build up the tension that happens later in the film, which of course we won't spoil for audiences, but all of that is part of the process.
Well, I love the edit. And I got to work with an edit. I've been wanting to work with David Arthur for a long time. Like, I love David Arthur. I think he's a brilliant editor, and it was he doesn't really get to work on sort of like family films, but he's a director himself, and I love an editor that says no to me and pushes back. And we've got like a really good process with that, and yeah. It was a great process. It was really smooth. The producers, the execs, they loved the cuts. Like there wasn't much of like a compromise. I'm like 99.999% happy with everything that's in there. And as a director, I never get that close to being that happy. So yeah, and as I say, again, that part of the process was just as collaborative. Like I got the boys on to do the score and the music, who done Anna and the Apocalypse. Like and yeah, it was a really good process. And again, the push and pull of the edit. I purposefully, when I shot the film, I would get the actors to crank it up, to either like dial it up and dial it back, so that I had this push and pull in the edit of like, particularly for comedy, being able to either like crank it up to 11 or actually let's dial that back, within the rhythm. And what I also knew was that I had US execs and US producers, and I had UK producers and UK execs. And there's a difference in comedy, there's a difference in sensibility, even like with the Australian comedy sensibility, there is a difference in there. And like being able to, like, the Brits, they want us to play it down, whereas the Americans, they like crank it up. So it gave me that ability to be able to, as I say, push and pull with a couple of things and work it along. Which was, as I say, is great fun in the edit, to be able to do that. And it's a bit of a luxury. So I was able to make a lot of people happy. Um,
Okay, yeah. Well, well done on that. And tell me about using music in the film.
Oh, I be able to, so Roddy Hart and Tommy Riley is the boys who I usually work with. And Tommy is a big fan of like John Williams' score and Danny Elfman and like those sort of like kids films. And sorry, so he just sort of like spearheaded, and we wanted to sort of like, I wanted like woodwind, I wanted like a live orchestra, like I wanted to hear the creak of the wood, and I like earthy music. And we started to sort of play with stuff, and they found some really nice tones with and sort of, as I say, really nice instruments. There's like a harpsichord we sort of play in places. It sort of like plays in with Diana and Charlie and comes back. And yeah, they've got these sort of like lovely themes that sort of build throughout. And Roddy was he done uh the song, I'm gonna let it grow. He sort of wrote and spearheaded that with and was able to get Katie Tunstall to come and sing on it as well. So that was really cool. And I've never had a live orchestra as well, so that was also absolutely class. Sort of watching like musicians come in who have never heard it, who have never seen the music, get handed sheet music and just play it perfectly. Like there's some really nice stuff like there's a fun moment with some bees and we obviously with the score like we got the violinists to almost like buzz like bees like zzz, so like because there's moments where sound design and music meet and that's a particular moment where the score has to come down to bring the sound design in and then they meet in the middle again, so having that sort of violins coming in with the with the bees. It just sort of like perfect. Love it, love it.
Well done on all that. That all fits together really so nicely. John, I'm intrigued. Are there any particular filmmakers or films that may influence your approach to filmmaking?
Um, I mean, I don't like. I mean, yeah, I love John Hughes movies. Like, I love John Carpenter movies. I love Spielberg movies. I love his way of directing. I love working with cast. I can't sort of like akin to what how other directors direct on set 'cause I've never really seen it. But I love working with people. Like I love finding the just the right blocking, the right moments. I always sort of like it's best joke wins. Like sort of like that's it. Like that like that's it. But like you have the whoever comes up with it, it's like I don't really have an ego. There's certain things I need and I want, and there's certain things I need that may hit, but everything in there, we should be able to come together and find that. And I think when you do that together, you just find that that collaboration. It just, I don't know, it sparks something. I found that with Anna. I found it with everything I've done that when I work with people and we find it together, that it's just sort of like, yeah, it sort of goes like that. But for this film, I was heavily influenced by The Simpsons.
Yeah.
So like I love The Simpsons. Like I grew up watching The Simpsons. It's like so there's like Monty Burns references in there. Like the kid's literally Bart Simpson. Every single time she's running, she's screaming. Like she's getting yanked. And it's like you know yeah. So and obviously like those big larger than life characters that are like Chief Wiggum and you can name loads of them, and again that I wanted to have these big fun larger than life characters. I knew Dinah and Charlie were like the heart of it, and as long as I could get that relationship and sell that unconventional mother-daughter relationship, that everyone else can just be fireworks just popping off all around them and adding light and fun to this journey. So yeah. So that means like The Simpsons was a big inspiration.
Fair, fair enough. That sounds great. So, John, I'm intrigued. Are you working on other projects, other films at the moment?
Yeah, I've got a slate. That way you're always sort of like you have to have like loads of plates spinning. I've got a couple of things. I've got a sort of romantic comedy I'm sort of working on just now, sort of a little bit personal. I was hoping to try and get that up and going really, really quick as well. I've got something I've been working on for about the last 12 years. I've been trying to I've not like it's my magnus opus. I cracked it early last year, and I'm sort of like hell bent on it. It's just the current market is really hard for anything that's like high concept that's not existing IP. Even this was like it's not existing IP, and it's hard to get that like hard to get the audiences to come and see it because it's not something that I like are akin to. Um, I've noticed that a lot in a lot of cinema recently. It's as I say, it's quite tough to get people to come out to see new IP, which is strange because everybody's like, why is everybody remaking everything? It's like because you won't go and see anything else.
Okay, interesting to hear all that. Look, John, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We've been speaking to John McPhail, who's the director of Grow, which is screening in Australian cinemas from January the 15th. John, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Peter. Genuinely, thank you so much for taking the time to promote the film like this. It's genuinely it means a lot, mate. I really, really do.
Pleasure. All the best. Bye bye.
Thanks, mate.